We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. I am here with the Miss Mika, and this is On Point with Van and Mika. Make sure y'all do me a favor and hit that like button, gang. That's the only price of admission for the live streams, is to simply hit the like button. And also, if you're feeling extra generous, consider sharing this video by hitting the share button below the video, copying the link, and sharing it on all platforms. And make sure you tag us so that we can show you some love. How you doing, Miss Mika?
I am awesome. You? How was your weekend?
My weekend was it was nice. It was nice. I didn't do a whole lot. I did spend a couple of hours out back yesterday because the weather was amazing after all that rain we got, and then yesterday was just dry and 60 something degrees. I'm like, yeah, I was out back working out.
What you was doing out back?
Working out, playing basketball, talking to the Lord. You know, wiping off my furniture that's out back, you know, just trying to really enjoy my day. It was Sunday and it was beautiful. And I said, you know what?
This doesn't bother you?
Huh? Huh?
You jack your hoodie up like this doesn't bother you? Like, I feel stuffed.
You said I jacked my hoodie up?
Yeah, you don't, this does not bother you?
What? What, my hoodie?
How you have your hoodie? You have hair. I have hair.
I just like putting on a hoodie.
But you don't feel stuffed? I feel stuffed trying to jack it up like that.
Try putting on your hoodie. You look less stuffed. How about you put on your hoodie?
I just did.
I'm talking about like
I just did. I just did. I feel stuffed.
Nah, I can be in a hoodie all day. I'm a black man. You know how we walk around in hoodies all day, ready to rob somebody. All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about Trump suing CBS, 60 Minutes, and Paramount for billions of dollars. We're talking about China, how they're butthurt about the tariffs. So they decide that they're going to expose all luxury brands and show the world how goofy we are for spending the amount of money that we spend. Then we're going to talk about Stephen A. Stephen A. He said he'd run for president.
He's their most viable choice. So
So you going to vote for him?
Now you know.
Wow. This here, the first time you're gonna ever hear this, folks. She said that she voting for Stephen A. Smith.
And that is a lie. That is a lie. If I ain't never heard one. Why? Like, I like Stephen A., but no. Stephen A. can talk about whatever he wants to talk about. I'm for it. I like a dissenting voice. I don't agree with half of the stuff he says, but I like a dissenting voice. Other than that, no, I wouldn't vote for him in like a president. Maybe he could start off, maybe county executive or something. Start there.
Okay. I honestly don't. I think I'll vote for him to be a commentator of something, but not for president.
Well, the Democrats, they got to fast track people.
They do try to fast track, but I'm not buying that. I mean, you have certain celebrities that can walk into the seat, but like, he's not Trump. The Trump 30 years before he even decided to become president was talking about how to make the country better, and he was talking about politics ad nauseum on the biggest shows and biggest platforms that were out, and he was just a businessman just talking his stuff.
And
Stephen A.
technically, he was already a politician. I mean, he politics with all the New York politicians. He's paid all of the New York politicians. He knows how that works. He's built buildings in New York, and New York real estate is riddled with politics. So, yeah, he's very versed. Plus, he does things in other countries. So, come on, yeah, he already knows that. So that's a difference. Stephen A. is a broadcaster or commentator. It's different. But again, it's the Democratic Party, so
Oh, I agree. 1000%. All right, so let's go and jump into it, gang. We're about to get into our topics. Please do me a favor, hit the like button, gang. Please. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. So Trump is suing the man. This reads almost every week, 60 Minutes, which is being sued for billions of dollars for the fraud they committed in the 2024 presidential election with their interview of failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris. How you say Kamala
Kamala.
Harris? I should have had you
It's
read this.
Kamala.
Kamala. Kamala
Kamala.
Harris mentions the name Trump in a derogatory and defamatory way. But this weekend's broadcast tops them all. They did not one, but two major stories on Trump. One having to do with Ukraine, which I say is a war that would never have happened if the 2020 election had not been rigged. In other words, if I were president, and the other story was having to do with Greenland casting our country as led by me falsely, inaccurately, and fraudulently. I am so honored to be suing 60 Minutes, CBS, fake news, and Paramount over their fraudulent, beyond recognition reporting. They did everything possible to illegally elect Kamala, including completely and corruptly changing major answers to interview questions, but it just didn't work for them. They are not a news show, but a dishonest political operative simply disguised as news and must be responsible for what they have done and are doing. They should lose their license. Hopefully, the Federal Communications Commission, as headed by its highly respected chairman, Brendan Carr, will impose the maximum fines and punishment, which is substantial for their unlawful and illegal behavior. CBS is out of control at levels never seen before, and they should pay a big price for this. Make America great
Why I
again.
can hear it in his voice. Levels that are like never seen before.
That part always breaks me up when he says like never seen before and all that other stuff. But what do you think about this whole thing?
I'm with it because CBS, I mean, and other stations, right? But CBS took that interview that they did with oh girl, and they took it and tried to make it something that it wasn't, right? Which is why she wouldn't do certain interviews with other podcasters and things like that because they weren't going to edit it. She couldn't, pre make the questions. So if she couldn't do all of that, she didn't want to do the interview. But what I find funny is CBS, regardless if it's liberal, conservative, CBS is one of the news stations, or one of the news broadcasting channels that get this for free. Like they're on air for free.
Yeah.
And it's because they have a deal with the United States government and they're allowed to, do all of this stuff for free. So I'm like, I don't understand why they just don't do things the right way. Because you could be paying like CNN and everybody else.
I mean, they have certain interests to protect.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No.
You don't think so?
That's the thing. Regardless of what president or what party is in, both parties support these news, broadcasting stations having free broadcasting. And it's because of the deals that they made, back in the day. So I'm trying to figure out why they would hedge everything to the Democrat Party and just for this one specific candidate, knowing that one, that candidate is not going to be in forever, and then two, it goes back and forth. Like I don't really understand why they did that. It doesn't make sense. I don't care how much money they're being paid. Candidates change, parties change. Like you want to withstand. Like
I agree.
I just don't get it. I don't understand why. So
I agree. I believe that their interests align more with a Democrat president being at the helm. So they'll do whatever they possibly can to protect them. They remain biased and they don't mind showing their biases.
they can be they that's this is what I'm saying though. They can be liberal leaning,
Mhm.
right? But the problem is they actually became, I don't know, state funded news, meaning they went, they took something that's for the public, and anytime it's for the public, you have to represent everybody, right? So that's why they have to have a certain level of integrity that, CNN doesn't have to have. CNN is a entertainment, BT,
Right.
whatever. You can say whatever. They are on public airspace. That's why it's such a big deal. Like, and then when you get one candidate on and ask questions or edit or do something, you have to do the same for the other candidate, which is the reason why he called out SNL, because I think it was SNL. They were like, "Oh, we're not going to have any candidates on, no Kamala, no this, no that." And then at the last minute, trying to give her the leg up, they brought her on. But you got to remember, they are on free airspace. So if you're going to allow one candidate, you have to send it to all candidates. And they did that with the Democrats.
So you're saying based off of that, he actually have a leg to stand on in his court case, in his case.
Yeah. Yeah, this wouldn't even have you wouldn't even have to bring up anything else. The fact that they did so much for one candidate and you didn't even attempt to do it for the other. And even if you're just going with Democrats, they didn't do it for the other Democrats. It's fraudulent in itself. So yeah. Yeah, he definitely has a leg. They know that. They'll probably settle out of court.
Well, on 60 Minutes, though, and I have to say this, I mean, they did, well, he wanted an apology, and I see why. I understand completely why. But he was invited back on the show. He just decided not to go. Now,
I wouldn't go on it either.
I understand that. I mean, but he decided not to go. They was being biased, they were being unfair, all those things. But he decided not to go. Rightfully so. I wouldn't have gone either. I really wouldn't have, because even with all of the evidence um, about the Hunter Biden laptop, who was on there before? Was it Barbara Walters or was it someone else? Was it Barbara Walters? I believe it was Barbara
No.
Walters. It
About
wasn't.
the Hunter what about the Hunter Biden laptop?
They wouldn't acknowledge that it was
Speaking of laptop,
actually
I
a
gotta get
real
my
thing.
cord.
They were saying that it was speculative. They were saying that they didn't have proof that the information on the laptop belonged to him. They were still under the assumption that it was Russian collusion, and with everything being online right there in their faces, with Trump being on 60 Minutes, they would not acknowledge that this was a real laptop, and we all seen it. We all seen it.
Well, remember what I showed you, right? They didn't need that. They had CBS had their own reporter that had actually gone out to do the journalism, and she had got the FBI copies of the laptop.
Was this before or after Trump was on 60 Minutes?
I don't know. I don't know if it was before or after. Well, actually, it probably was before, because um this was during that election cycle. So actually, this was during like 20. I think this was the 2020 election. Actually,
Okay.
so it was during the election cycle, and that laptop story would have changed if it was allowed to be released, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what even their own reporter was saying. Like, they
Yeah.
were telling her to sit on the story, and she's like, "Why am I sitting on the story?" Because they knew it would change the
Oh,
trajectory.
absolutely. Like back in, what was this, 2017? It was 2017, 2018, where they was not allowing anybody to share that laptop information, to talk about that laptop information, to post
Mhm.
screenshots, because they were saying that the based off of what was found on the laptop, they put everything under child pornography.
Well, it is what it is. That's what they do.
Wow.
Again, though,
This
it
does
was an
feel stuffy
attempt.
now. See, you got me all in my head now.
It's stuffy. I tried to put that hood on. I was like, let me take this one thing off. It's an attempt. It's an attempt to, and that's actually election interference,
I
right?
believe so.
They
I
they
agree.
they try to make it, well, election interference is when you do this. No, that's election interference. And they made it, about Russia and all this other stuff. But it's the same thing they did with Hillary Clinton. So
Okay.
yeah, he has a leg to stand on.
All
And
right.
he's gonna get the money. Trust me. He's gonna get it.
I hope he does, man. This was right here. And this right
He sued
here.
ABC.
Did he win though?
They settled.
Because I know that they were
They
supposed to.
settled. That ought to tell you. And people were like, "Oh, why did they settle?" No, 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 no. Not ABC, NBC. I'm sorry. Yeah, and they settled. Mhm.
NBC.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, hopefully Trump gets that bag. What about Paramount? What did Paramount do? Do they work?
So Paramount is the. I think Paramount is the parent company.
Oh, okay. That run everything, that own everything.
Mhm. Mhm.
All these
Mhm.
smaller
Mhm.
channels that's connected to them.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. See, Mika know everything. I told y'all. Any question y'all want, ask Mika. You know,
What am I, Grok?
maybe,
Hot mess.
maybe not. So not sure if y'all heard about this whole story right here. Now, this is interesting to me because shout out to, have you ever heard of Hotep Jesus?
Who?
See, no, then the answer is no. Hotep Jesus is this guy who's been on Fox News, he's been on MSNBC, he's been on CNN, and he's pretty big on
Oh, yes, I've seen him.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I
And
just
what
didn't know
he's
that was his name.
yeah, Hotep Jesus. And what he said is, he said China's strategy to fight Trump's tariffs is to create tension between women and the Trump admin by pumping out luxury brand manufacturing propaganda, exposing the industry. I mean, this seems pretty desperate to me, but this is exactly what's happening. Here's one of those videos of somebody doing just that. Make sure y'all hit the like button, guys. This is going to be a really good conversation.
Do you recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do. For the past more than 30 years, we have been OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. But for this, I am not proud because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bags are very low. What I'm really proud of is that first, we have the best quality control. Two, we have the best craftsmanship. Chinese craftsmen are always intelligent and diligent. Three, we have the most complete supply chain. We always get what we want, like zippers, accessories of any kind, any color, and leathers immediately. Now, as the USA and its little European brothers are trying to refuse Chinese goods, don't you think luxury brands are not trying to move their OEM out of China? Yes, they did, but they failed because the OEM factories out of China, they don't have good quality control and they don't have as good craftsmanship. Their workers are either too expensive or too lazy. Three, they don't have any supply chain. They always have trouble getting leather or zippers or any accessories. That is why they failed, and that is why we will always be the best OEM factory for luxury brands. Why don't you just contact us and buy from us? You won't believe the prices we give you.
All right. So hold on. That's not even the last one I want to show because honestly, I don't believe any of the bags that are in Tyson's come from that manufacturer. I'm
Okay.
not believing that.
Okay.
Are you saying they do? You believe they do?
I'm gonna hip you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I want you to hit me then. Make me hip.
I want you to show the content.
Oh, my bad.
And then I'm gonna be taught.
Okay. See,
It's after 12.
All right. You knew what I was about to say.
I done learn, boss.
All right, here we go.
All right, who else is glued to Chinese manufacturer TikTok? Man, they are blowing up the luxury goods market. I think they're going to blow it up much more than Bethany Frankel did for Chanel. One that is going around a lot, Sunbags, SEN. I recommend you follow them. The gentleman went through the entire breakdown of how they create an Hermes bag, which is valued at, if you buy it in the US, $38,000. He goes through like every single thing that they use, the exact quality of an Hermes bag that they make in their warehouse. And the US dollar cost is $1,400. The difference between the $1,400 of actual labor and resources and the 38K is when Hermes puts their label on it.
Whatever.
And they make all of these other luxury oh my God. Look, I have been a big lover of like Target and Shein and Amazon for my clothing, because a lot of stuff is so heavily dupable now that, like, if I see something I like, at Free People or in Anthropology, I'm immediately looking for a dupe, and it's very easy to find. But at this point, if anyone is buying luxury goods anymore, I would have to ask, do you need your head examined? I'm here for it, man. I'm loving this. Who else is glued to this?
All right.
Okay. First, those brands outside of Michael Kors are European brands. Okay. Second, all the Europeans, meaning the designers, ones
Okay.
in France, the ones in Italy, all of them, right? They all use Asian manufacturers, all of them. Okay. So they had and it was really good. They had a big documentary that finally got picked up. I think it was Netflix that picked it up, but it's been out forever, but Netflix picked it up, bought the license into it. And it talked about the Chinese manufacturers, the Indian manufacturers, because they're all in Asia, right? And so they all use those type of manufacturers. Now, also over there, a lot of the times they can't stop the workers or whoever is I forget what they call them, but whoever's over top of the workers that actually make all of these things, they can't stop them from bootlegging. And technically, the reason why it's such a big demand for them is because it's the same manufacturer, it's the same warehouses, it's the same materials. So while they're making this for, I'm just going to use this as an example. While they're making this for Chanel, they're also making 5 more to go sell in the black market. Now,
Smart.
now Dior, they got hip. And so some of those people actually get paid by Dior to actually cut in on the black market profit. So they get paid twice because they know it's going to happen. But that's the reason why, if you actually have a good black market, you'll see they have the cards, because when you buy these bags, they come with authentication cards and things like that, and numbers, and so you'll see they have it because they're in the same warehouse. They're using the same people. And this isn't nothing, this isn't anything new. If you go back to the story of like Christian Dior and Balmain, I'm talking about like back in the day. They used to fight over seamstress and people like that because they knew the clothing, they knew the stitching and things like that. And they would go back and forth, work for this house, work for this fashion house, right? So this has been a thing. It's just that the Chinese, they don't care. They got the money, they'll go just steal everything.
Now, when I read the book called House of Gucci, they didn't admit, I would say that they were extremely pissed off when they found out that there was people in their family who were going directly to other manufacturers creating fake bags in their name. So,
well, it's not technically fake. So if I own something, so if I'm entitled to use a name, you can also use a name. I'll just use this for example. You remember the Temptations had like 2-3 different groups, and they all were using because they were all entitled. There was one person that was entitled to use the name, the branding, all of that because they had part ownership. So that's how that comes about. So technically, it's not fake.
I hear that when you're talking about technicalities, but I'm talking about the leather being real, the metal being real. Obviously, it's not pure real gold, you know what I mean, but it being a different type of material. And even one of these guys, these in one of these Asian exposed luxury bags type of videos.
I was about to say that the luxury bags in the store, if you actually go and put them to the test of leather, a lot of them will not pass. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot about all of this when I went to Dubai, because they have some Asian manufacturers out there in Dubai. And a lot of people on YouTube actually go and watch the rich women on YouTube. Okay. They actually, and some of the celebrities do this as well. They actually, if they want a luxury item, they don't go outside with that luxury item. They buy the same bag
Fake.
from that manufacturer. And the reason why nobody can tell the difference, because there is no difference other than the retailer sells it and the black market sells it. They're from the same manufacturers. But because remember, everything is because it's consumer backed, because we believe in it, right? Then if it comes from the black market, it doesn't have value. So they will go outside with that one. So if you steal it from them, it's fine. But you, the average person, how do you know? How do you know the difference? You don't.
This is crazy, man.
It's bigger than Nino Brown.
Well, only reason why I'm mad is because how much money I spend on bags.
even like this is, it happens all the way across, even with jewels, right? The diamond market, the diamond industry, same thing. A lot of these jewelers in America have people, regular people, rappers, all that, paying all of this money for what they think is top tier, because they don't understand clarity. They don't know the VVS systems. They don't know any of that, right? So they pay all of this money for all of this jewelry, and then when they go to resell it, when they become broke or something, they can't resell it. And that's because the clarity of the diamonds are trash. A lot of the things, the pieces on people's watches are just, you have to know what you're really getting into when you start buying these things. If you're going to waste money on things, you might want to waste money on things that are going to appreciate. And there's only a few luxury items that do.
I feel duped. I feel hoodwinked. I feel bamboozled. I feel led astray. I feel run amok. I feel like Plymouth Rock.
No, but this is the reality. This is the reality of the people, though, right? America, we consume. That's all we do.
Very much, yeah, a lot.
So when you consume, you don't really, you're not really taking things into account.
Check this out right here, man. I'm a little mad. I'm just let you know that right now. I'm a little peeved. I got me and my wife. We gotta have a conversation when she come home because I don't like it.
Your made in Italy Gucci 80% come from Chinese factory. They just add the logo in Europe to make you pay the price of 10 times. Close your eyes. If your hammer says made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not quality issue. It's luxury brand washing. Fun fact, the hand stitching your product, 42% are Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap. We do underrated luxury. Why pay 2,000 euro for Parisian air? Same leather, same craft, just without the European fairy tale facts. Be a luxury rebel. You can shop on Chinese platforms such as Taobao, 1688, Tianmao, Jingdong. You can even go directly to Guangzhou, Yiwu, Quanzhou, Wenzhou to buy.
Okay, what was that website again? Wangzhong Yimong, Wangzhong Wingju. Is that what it is?
I don't speak Mandarin.
Guangzhong Yiwu, Guangzhou Wingju.com.
You've been brushing up on your carryout.
I like
I'm
that.
sorry.
I like that. I like that brushing up on your carry out. That's kind of I ain't gonna say what it is, but yeah, that was good.
Don't know how to buy, how to pay, or arrange delivery? Just PM me. GoNest to provide free shopping guidance and shipping services for you.
They are something, man. They don't care. This is ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous. I'm a little peeved right now. I am a little peeved. I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say.
I could tell you what to say.
What do I say?
This is the year. Cat Williams told y'all last year, after 2024, nothing is on the table. Everything is out in the open. Everything. So it's a shock, to the system when you learn certain things. But this is nothing new. All of these people knew this. People that buy a lot of luxury things know this. Why? That's the reason why you don't see a lot of billionaires and running around with this stuff, because it means absolutely nothing. Now, a person like me, like I do like the like duffel bags. I like duffel bags and things like that. See, not you mixed in with the Spanish though. Por favor. I like duffel bags though. The Louis duffel bag.
Where do you order them? Do you order them directly from the factory? Do you go to Dubai? Do you take a trip to Paris and purchase your bag there? What do you do?
It depends. So I have purchased items when I am in Dubai, or I get it off the website. But regardless, it's coming from the same place. And see, I don't buy it. I don't buy it specifically for what a lot of people buy stuff. I like those duffel bags. Like, I really do like them.
I don't like none
Like
of this stuff.
like Louis Vuitton, that's where they started. They started in the craftsmanship of, like, briefcases, things like that. So I do like I like the way it looks. That's the history of that.
Bro.
Oh Lord.
I got on army fatigue pants. We all know you fancy, Mika. We get it. You're fancy.
I am not fancy.
You're fancy. You probably
I
got
don't buy the
up right
bright
now.
watch. I just buy the bright watch.
You
I
type
won't
like
buy
this.
out a
though.
bar. I'll buy the night spot.
Don't you type like this with your pinky up?
No, but I do drink my tea like that.
You fancy. You're fancy. All right. So our next story. Stephen A is saying that he might run for president. So we might have a good president coming out of the Democratic Party. So yeah, that's where we are with that. This is him right here. He was in an interview just 2 days ago, and here is Stephen A. Letting us know that he will be running for president and that he will beat Donald Trump. And the wild part is, I ain't got no issue with him running, but I do have an issue with him talking greasy about, and trying to act like he's already running. He started to attack Trump's policies and all these other things, and he's not there yet. I mean, he has some ways to go, but I'm not holding the brother back. He got a couple of years to get prepared, and you know how they get people ready for everything very quickly. I got an issue with that. I got an issue with that. I don't like that. It's like they're playing with us again when they just decide to put anybody out there who they think can win.
I mean, I'm a conservative, so this is entertainment. Roll it.
I saw you mentioned Bill Maher. I saw Steve Bannon was on with Bill Maher, and he was asked what Democrats he worries about. And you know, the only name he mentioned as a Democrat he'd be worried about. So are you really thinking about running for president? Is this something you think?
Listen, I've been. I have no choice because I've had elected officials, and I'm not going to give their names, elected officials coming up to me. I've had folks who are pundits come up to me. I've had folks that got a lot of money, billionaires and others, and have talked to me about exploratory committees and things of that nature. I'm not a politician. I've never had a desire to be a politician. I just signed a contract extension with ESPN. I am very, very
pretty good one too
with my day job. I'm very happy with my boss. This is a pretty damn good one. Just right. It's a pretty damn good contract. I couldn't be happier. But here's the reality. People have walked up to me, including my own pastor, for crying out loud, who has said to me, you don't know what God has planned for you. At least show the respect to the people who believe in you, who respect you, who believe that you can make a difference in this country, to leave the door open for any possibilities 2 to 3 years down the line. And that's what I've decided to do. But again, whether it's Governor Westmore, who I know, or Governor Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania, who I know, Andrew Cuomo, who I had the pleasure of interviewing, who's trying to get back in things and be the next mayor of New York, etc. I see a lot of people that obviously and clearly are more qualified than me. But in the same breath, when you think about what Trump is getting away with, when you think about what you brought up about Steve Bannon, who's trying to be slick because he's looking at a non-political individual like myself, looking at me as a populist, but you better be careful what you ask for, because some of the stuff that Trump and the right has been trying to get away with, like circumventing the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, talking about how there could be a third term. Excuse me, be careful what you wish for, because if any GOP member, if any Republican supports that, I don't want to hear a word out of their mouth ever again about the following the Constitution, the Constitution, the Constitution. That's what they've been living off for years. And then you're talking about circumventing the 22nd Amendment, and you think that's cool? No way. That's not something that we should stand for. So I would hope somebody else would step up that's more qualified than me. But if it has to come down to me, it is something I would consider. Yes, I would, because I don't mind the thought of tussling with these folks at all, on the left or the right. All of them disgust me, to be quite honest with you.
That's the lie. That's the lie. I mean, I wish that he would just be more honest when he says things like that. The left don't discuss him. That's the lie. Also, him saying if there's anybody else more qualified than him. Everybody's more qualified than you, bro. Like, you're talking about sports. If we talking about LeBron James, then yeah, you good. If we talking about making money and being successful, yeah, you straight. You have a lot to speak about. When you talk about being the president, nigga, please. I'm sorry. What's your point?
No, that was on point. Everybody is more qualified than him. But even to take it further, what is what are we really talking about here?
Stephen A. talking about he running for
No,
president.
I'm saying what are we talking about? He's like, oh well, my pastor had said that you owe it to who?
Yes, for people that
You
believe
owe
in
it
you.
to who?
You don't
Nobody
have,
gave you no campaign money. Who are you owing it to? People who just Twitter warriors.
and ain't nobody gonna give him no campaign money.
Well, if he get Act Blue, he might get that money. I'm just saying though.
Oh yeah, Act Blue give it
I'm just saying.
to
Who,
Jasmine Crockett.
look, this is something. Look, the Democrats need a break while they, figure out what they're gonna do. So you got Ratchet Crockett over here making a mockery of herself. Fine, let her do that. Why we think? Think about it. And then you got AOC, and then you got Stephen A over here, right? So all of these people, while you're looking at that, while you're so busy looking at that, the real, Democrats and cultivators like, Nancy and Chuck and all of those people, they're actually trying to sit down and figure out who they can actually run.
Exactly, because they taking it serious. They
No, because
understand.
they no, no. Those people, as much as I don't like them, they know politics. They're not dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. Those
This
type
is
of
their
people,
sport.
they know. And so, and then, they're beholden to a lot of globalist agendas. Like they have stuff that they have to do. So with that being said, you really like a lot of people, they got to look at this stuff like WWE wrestling. Vince McMahon, he sits up there and he figures this stuff out, and then he puts, that stuff in front of you.
That's why Trump was really good friends with the McMahons.
Yeah, man, they are phenomenal. They know business.
They know business. They know how to get it going.
Come
They know
on.
how to get that
They took
dramatic.
an actual real sport and made it sports entertainment. Like they take people and put them through actual training. Like there's a whole thing behind it, and then there's the entertainment factor. So Ratchet Crockett is their entertainment factor, and then there's the shadow government.
And I also I seen something that I don't know if you've seen this, but I thought it was absolutely dope. It was one of Stephen A's good friends. And I don't know if you saw this right here, but one of Stephen A's good friends, Shaquille O'Neal, greeting Trump at the UFC fight. He went out of his way to break through the crowd to find Trump, speak to him, show him love, dap him up, get a hug, and then he took pictures with Elon and Trump afterwards. Oh, check this out, gang. See that? That's called immense respect. That's called I'm friends with Stephen A, but I come on, this is the real president right here. Ain't nobody. We know who he voted for. We know who Shaq voted for. God dang it. Trump.
He don't right. Because he don't have, he don't have one of those. He's not a man that has to stroll to the pole behind his woman.
What that supposed to mean? He's not a man that got to stroll to the pole behind his woman.
Let me turn to my camera. He's not a man that has to stroll to the poles behind his woman.
Okay, I understand now.
Okay, he's not with her.
Okay, you're not supposed to write that word, cornblood raven. Not supposed to write that word.
What they write? Cornblood.
You see what he's talking? See, first of all, she's not.
Oh no, I wasn't. Y'all messy.
Yeah, you already know they are. Don't make no daggone sense. I voted for who I voted for. I didn't vote for Kamala.
Y'all so messy. I guess it's the Lord, the the liberal. They think, no. He voted, he voted, he held his own.
And I had a real long conversation with a good friend of mine at the at the poll. Because he was going through something with his wife and everything, and we just talking, he breaking down everything, and him and his daughter and my daughter was real cool friends, are real good friends, and they were on the cheering squad for years together in high school, and obviously he was repping Kamala, but yeah.
He was strolling to the poll.
Huh?
He was strolling to the poll. He,
Who
he
was?
had a he
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
I'm with her shirt on.
I never understood that. They don't mind if you had on Kamala stuff, but you can't wear
I
MAGA.
told you this. I went, all I did, and I knew not to do, go inside. But while I was in line, I had on a MAGA hat. And they immediately, all the 92% was like,
In
right.
Maryland. You doing that in
And
Maryland?
so, yeah.
What? Do you have a death wish?
What is going to do to me? I told you what's on my hip. So, like I was saying, yeah, they all came over and, they were like, ma'am, when you go in, I'm like, yeah, cool. But while I'm outside on this public ground that I pay money on, yeah.
They probably was looking for
But
you.
you know who went in? But you know who went in with their their big old squared Kamala faces on a shirt. I'm with her. Vote blue, no matter who. They had all the type of stuff. They had blue balloons out there.
They did have blue balloons. They had a lot of blue balloons. And where I
Mhm.
went to go vote, Angela also Brooks was right outside, and I got to give her a hug and everything.
That's right, Felicia. Who gonna check me, boo? Mm-hmm. Who gonna do it? Who gonna do it? I'm gonna wear this hat.
Did you vote for Angela also Brooks?
Please. That's like asking if I voted for Tina Turner. It don't belong on the ballot. I'm not voting for her. Like what? No. And the sad part about it is Democrats know their constituents are so dumb, okay, that they don't even, when they put up these signs, they don't even put up why. They just put vote yes for this, vote no for this. And they be like, yup. They stand in line there. You voting yes, right? Yeah, we voting yes. Yeah. Why are you voting yes? You don't even know why. And then what's her name? Also, whatever her name is, that went to the Senate. They attached her with Kamala.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because let's be clear. She had no problem. I don't know if you watched her Senate debate with Hogan.
I did.
The entire time, Hogan was like, "My G, you worked for me, so I know what you about." And he said the entire time you worked for me, was the budget straight? This the only thing she could say. Look, I can't support Project 2025. We can't have that with the American people. You know what Hogan wanted to say, but he couldn't say it.
You do know that they're saying that almost everything that they said will happen in Project 2025 is actually happening under Trump. So are you saying that Trump is not a part of Project 2025? Is that what you're saying?
You got your
In front
little
of the
temper
American
set out
people?
every now and then. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
In front of the American people, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying Angela Holbrook is trash, and so was Kamala. And I'd rather Project 2025 than Agenda 2030. You will own nothing and you will like it. Okay. I'm tired of the great migration. And if y'all don't know what the great migration is when Democrats price themselves out of an area because they keep voting for the Democrats and their taxes go up, their property taxes go up, and then they come run to a Republican county and then they change that too. And then the taxes go up. So the 92%, I can't get with. They about as dumb as a bunch of bricks.
I understand that. I understand that. More
And they
time.
just vote for a frivolous government for no apparent reason. Like, why do you need more government? Why?
Because the government allows you to get all of the abortions you want. The government allows you to have welfare. The government sends out stimulus checks. Hello.
Not their government. Not their Democrat ever gave out a stimulus check.
They gave out stimulus to the to the immigrants they brought over here. Each of them
Not
was
the
getting
92%.
$1,400.
Not the 92%. They don't even benefit from their DEI.
You
What
talking
is
about
the
the black people?
92% voting for?
You talking about black people? The black Democrat?
I explicitly used 92%.
I know what
I
you
said
use.
nothing about race.
I know. I know what you use. I'm trying to ask for clarity. Are you talking about the blacks? But calm down.
I said the 92% and what they voted for.
She said, I said what I said, the 92%. All right, so Josh Shapiro, that brother got his house almost burnt down. The guy was caught. He wasn't caught. He turned himself in, but he's the police have him right now. This happened at 3 a.m. in the morning. The perfect time to commit a crime. The time where people come outside of your house and they take your wheels off and you don't even know they're out there because you sleeping hard as hell.
Demon time.
Huh?
Demon time. Call it what it is.
Oh yeah. You only thing you can do is come outside and say, "Damn, they got me." And I I know I had that moment before. Damn, they got us. A couple of times actually, but not in this new area we're in. To God be the glory. But yeah, so 3 o'clock in the morning, this brother decides to burn down Josh Shapiro's house while Josh and his wife were inside the home sleep along with their family, and other people were at the home as well. Apparently, this happened at the mansion, and the mansion, this bad boy is huge. My gracious, like
Yeah, I think that's the governor's mansion.
Yeah, that joint's huge, bro.
Nice.
Huge.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the story, guys. Hit the like button for me.
We don't know the person's specific motive yet, but we do know a few truths. First, this type of violence is not okay. This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society. And I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other, directed at one particular party or another, or one particular person or another. It is not okay. And it has to stop. We have to be better than this. We have a responsibility to all be better.
Damn. 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 My man pissed. I'd be pissed too. You come burn down my damn house. But I'd be thankful that we got saved. Like they got the fire department out that bad boy to put out the fire before it even got into the next room. That was very. I mean, they did a damn good job. The fire. Shout out to the fire department. Um, they got to run into the fire while everybody else is running out. Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know how many of you all thank God on a daily basis just for the basic necessities, the bare necessities. I'm talking about for grace and mercy, for a roof over your head, for being protected from seen and unseen dangers, for waking up next to a breathing spouse, knowing your children are okay in the next rooms. I mean, those things right there are what I give honor to God for on a daily basis, probably sometimes all day long whenever I have an opportunity. But when you see things like this, man, it not only does it piss you off, but it makes you. I usually don't feel sad for people, but when I see people going all out because they're locked into the liberal hive mind and they feel like the only way that they can show their disdain for the Trump administration is to act out emotionally and angrily the way that they do, to take a couple of um, cans of paint up to Tesla and Molotov cocktails and show off their disdain that way, rather than communicate, vote their interests, or even try to have conversations so that they can have a better understanding as to why they lost in the first place or why they're headed down the wrong path. So when I see things like this, bro, I'm happy that the family got out alive, but the brother that committed the crime, his name is Cody Balmer. Cody Balmer. This brother got charged with attempted murder and a whole bunch of other things as well.
Yep.
As he should have. Somebody burned down a house while a family is inside. That's attempted murder. You trying to
Here's the
kill the whole
thing.
damn family.
Here's the thing. I even though I don't agree with the man's policies, I would never think that just because I don't agree with somebody's policies that their home should be burnt down. That that their children who have nothing to do with anything, have to have PTSD because they see fire everywhere, everybody's running. Like none of that stuff is okay. So I appreciated, what he was saying there at the end. None of that stuff is okay. Like it's definitely not. But if we're gonna talk about, if we're gonna have a conversation on the other end about political violence, this is nothing new. The the left, they've been doing this since way before I was born, before you were born. You know what I mean? Like between the war when they were protesting, about Vietnam. I understand not wanting, your children to go off to frivolous wars, right? But you had those same type of people that are funding things now. You had those same type of people then that would take those type of grievances and, elevate it to violence. When they talk about the J6 riots, you can look back in the 70s, they bombed the Capitol with people in it. And that was the left because they didn't like the stuff that was going on with the war. It happened in the 80s. It happened in the 90s. Like, so that's why I'm just like, y'all are mad. And you can have your opinions, but y'all are mad at the J6 stuff when this has been happening.
It has been happening, hasn't it?
Oh, it's happened tons of times. Of course, they're not going to bring it up, and they're going to be like, "Well, nobody got hurt," and all of that. But honestly and truly, had it not been for what happened to what's her name, Ashley Babbitt, no, there were nobody died. J6.
On that day.
Yeah, outside of Ashley Babbitt.
Okay, outside of Ashley Babbitt.
Mm-hmm.
And she was military, right?
I don't know. I never really looked into the whole thing with her because it's weird. But outside of that, what I'm saying is nobody actually they didn't go to kill anybody. You know, like that was honestly that's what's promoted by the Constitution. Like Thomas Jefferson talked about having a government as a tyranny. Like when your government starts to do certain things, what it looks like. And they took it to the right people. You take it to the government. To say that they were trespassing on what? I pay for this. What am I trespassing on? Do I think people should be violent? No. But I do think people have the right to be angry and take it to their congressmen, their presidents, all that. That's why I believe in protesting, even if I don't believe in the actual protest. But violence, no. And this right here could have really hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But again, that's the political nature of this country. And they know, and a lot of the times the left is the one, provoking it with all this, well, take it to them, get in their face, like you know what you're saying. Most won't do it, but there's a couple nut jobs that will.
Oh yeah, they most certainly will. Cory Booker that was talking for 25 hours? He was saying that Maxine Walkers. Maxine
Walkers is right.
The bigger the government, the more it costs taxpayers. These organizations, 5 to be funded. Taxpayers fund big government. Thank you, Big Brown Eyes. Appreciate you. He dropped the shiz nizzle. Watch the entire video. And taxpayers fund big government.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They on board. They know what they talking about. Look, that's what. Oh, thank you. Here you go. Here you go. You're such a hater. Hating your blue. That's you still bleed blue?
Kinda. For some things. For a couple of things. Not all the time. But yeah. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Let me go ahead and like and love your comment over here. Somebody's about to heart your comment. That's me. Just let you know that. Boom.
You know what?
Shout out to Shane and all you other fans of Mika. Don't show me no love. All right.
They do. They on your channel.
They only here for Mika. Maxine Waters. I said Walkers. Okay. Maxine.
I know. Waters is correct, but Walkers is right.
Do she have any children? Could you imagine her making love to make kids?
I hope not. Because most of those liberal women, they so busy with their careers. I hope not. I hope not.
Hey, Courtney, that's not
Hey, she tried.
Thank you though. I appreciate you. I can glaze you if you want.
Oh my God.
I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate you, Courtney. She said I can glaze you.
If you want.
My gracious. All right. So
that was hilarious.
So we covered all 4 of them topics. Is there anything else you like to cover before we get up out of here?
Oh, really quick. The Supreme Court cannot do anything to the El Salvadorian president.
Okay, so why did you say that?
Period.
Why did you say that? What made you say that?
Because you know, they're grandstanding and they're confusing people, right? The liberals that are in the Supreme Court, they're confusing people. These liberal judges, they're confusing people because they know the people don't know how the Constitution works. They don't know how judges can use their power. Like they just don't know any of that. And so they confuse the people and it ends up doing, something that we're talking about right now. Because when the people are confused, they go and try to, right the wrong themselves when Donald Trump is doing everything by the book. He's doing it by the book. The people don't know the book. And that's because you got so many politicians that have changed it so many times. You got so many politicians writing laws that they think can override the Constitution. So some of the people are used to certain things happening. And when the correct thing happens, they think it's a problem.
So this is the correct thing. He actually has the power to say, I don't have to send anybody back. Like, this is my country. You don't tell me what to do in my country.
No. Not doing anything wrong.
So the Democrats were saying that they wanted him to send back the immigrant who they believe was falsely sent to El Salvador under the guise of him being MS-13 and a dangerous criminal. So they try to get him sent back so that they can send him to the country that he actually is supposed to go back to. But it's not El Salvador. But the El Salvador president, what's his name? He said, nah, pretty much. He said, nah.
What you want to do to me?
No bueno. He said, I ain't sending nobody back.
No. For what? For what? He's not American. So what are we sending? What are we sending back? They can miss me with it. And yeah, if Barack Obama can keep open Guantanamo Bay, we can send illegals to that prison. Period.
Jeez. This brother said, nah. Wow. Okay. I guess I do bleed blue a little bit because here I am wondering why won't he send him back? If he's not supposed to have him. But they're saying that the guy was originally from El Salvador. He was born in El Salvador, I believe.
Right. So he's El Salvadorian.
Okay. There you have it, folks. El Salvador will not be sending us anybody. And if you got anything to say to him, then pull up. That's what he said.
Oh, most definitely. I agree 100,000%.
All right. So there you have it, guys. Thank y'all so much for pulling up. I appreciate it. If you have not hit the like button yet, I don't know how many people hit the like button, but we should have at least 2 million likes on the chat on this live stream. If we don't have 2 million, then please get as close to 2 million as possible. All right. Thank y'all again for being so dope. I appreciate y'all. And Mika, do you have anything for the people?
Stay well. Be blessed.
You're so cool. She's just chilling. Stay well. Be blessed. I'm gonna see y'all later on because I got some hell to raise. But for anybody that want to join me in the 8 o'clock class tonight, make sure you grab the YouTube course, which is inside the link, the first link in the descriptions. And I will see everyone later. All of my blues. Thank y'all. Everyone who pulled up and were respectful to others, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one, and check out this ad right here. We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have, trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing, we have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.